Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at in the world this morning. It's Saturday here where we're at in Clark County. The ice storm is over. Might have some issues with my chat this morning and the windows on the screen, so you'll have to use the YouTube app for chat this morning. We'll see if we can get it working as we go through. Got a little bit of a different episode for you guys today. So last week we had some questions about amortization. So we're going to dive into some amortization spreadsheets. So grab your coffee. You may need it, as amortization isn't super exciting, but it is very, very important, and it can be a super powerful tool if your goal is to manage how quickly you can pay off your mortgage. There's a lot of ways to use it. We're going to dive into a couple today. But before we do, let's go over our typical housekeeping items. All the interest rates that I use on my live stream come from this website here. And while I'm talking, I'm going to try to get this chat window working. MortgageNewsDaily.com is my go-to website for all things interest rates. It's a website I trust to give me a non-biased national average on where interest rates are today. You can see 30-year fixed. We ticked up a hair from last week. We're at 6.92. On conforming conventional 30-year fixed. FHA, we're up to 6.15. We were at 6.02 last week, so close to breaking that 6% barrier, which I believe we will. A small tick up isn't necessarily anything to be concerned with at this point. This is also a great website to go to for some good articles on what interest rates are doing, how the market's reacting to Fed comments, to unemployment numbers, those type of things. There's a good article here on highest mortgage rates in more than a month. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. We're still way down off our highs of getting close to 8%, but there are silver linings. Look, there's been a lot of talk on social media this week, as well as in the news, and I tend to agree with it. Everyone is saying capitalize now. So if you watch my previous episodes, when we talk about the question, is now the right time to buy? My answer is always the right time to buy, especially in this market, is when the right opportunity presents itself. So be prepared for that opportunity to present itself, whether it be a home that checks all your marks or checks your budget, right square footage, right neighborhood, all those things. The news this week has been a lot of that now is the time to capitalize on buying mortgages. Everyone is expecting, as rates come down and we get closer to the end of the school year, into the buying season, we're going to see values tick up. We're going to see it get very competitive. A lot of people I've heard this week on social media have compared this first quarter that we're in now to buying a home before COVID. I think that's a little extreme, but I do agree with the methodology that, look, if we would have bought before COVID hit, if we had a crystal ball, and then there was that huge buying frenzy when rates came down, where would we be today? I think that you may look back next year and go, man, that was a great time to buy. So we'll see. Nobody has a crystal ball. I think the best people, including myself, at forecasting what interest rates and what the markets are going to do are right about 50% of the time. So, yeah, let's look into our weekly statistics sent to us every week by Gavin Hutkins. We'll start here. So every time, let me get in the window there. Every time a real estate agent opens a lockbox on a house to show the home, that data is collected. And we are looking at that data here. Lockbox activity in Oregon, down 17%. In Washington, down 23%. You have to remember, if we went back to last week's numbers, they were up like 200% because of the holidays. Holidays were over. So if we were to compare, if we were to get a percentage of where this number was compared to 3 weeks ago, it would be up like 150%. So like we talked about last week, we're starting to see an early buying season this year as rates come down. And even though these are negative, they're a little skewed. I think that kind of backs that theory up. So here in Clark County, Southwest Washington, new listings, 153. Again, that's down 11%, but that number is a little skewed. New listings down 11% at 153. Pending sales, 170. So homes that have gone under contract but haven't closed yet, 170, up 60%. That's that. I think we're in a early buying season. You know, that's a good indicator there. We had 91 listings sold in Clark County. So transactions that were in contract that finally closed and recorded at the courthouse, 91. So where to begin today? I got a lot to cover. I only picked one house that's being held open today because we're going to spend some time going over amortization. But let's start with that house. Let's start there, and then we're going to dive deep into some Excel spreadsheets. So be prepared, grab your coffee. This listing was sent over by Gavin Huckins, Berkshire Hathaway. It's being held open today. I believe this listing is Brad Otis's listing over at Berkshire Hathaway. Picked this home because I really like the address, 841 Northwest Sacagawea Place. I went to Sacagawea Elementary School, which is not in Camas, but I really like the address, and it's in a good price point for a move up. So somebody that has a family now, maybe they bought a little bungalow, a little ranch, 2-bedroom, or a condo or a townhome, and now they're starting their family. They need more room. They want to be in excellent school districts, which Camas has. So this is a good move up. So as a reminder, when I show you guys homes on this stream, I'm looking at them for the most part for the first time with you. I do review some of the data to prepare for the stream, but I want to have my first impressions of this home along with you. I'm going to go ahead and delete this chat window here because I don't think my chat's working this morning. There we go. So 4-bed, 3-bath, 2741 square feet, built in 2008. Let's see what the description is here. Sought after Camas School District. Close proximity to recreation parks, restaurants, shopping, and freeways. Open concept, chef's kitchen. I'm excited to see where this house is at as far as being dated. So these 2006 to 2010 homes, they're starting to need some updating, my home included. So a lot of these homes that were built in that time period, you're starting to see some of them get new kitchens, new bathrooms, oversized deck, private tree-lined backyard. Okay, new interior paint, new furnace, alarm system, ring camera, and sprinkler system. So those are some of the things I'm talking about when I'm talking about maybe a home that's been updated. So it is being held open tomorrow for only 2 hours, 12 to 2. So let's take a look at some pictures. I'm awful dark. Let me see if I can brighten myself up for you guys here. That helped a little bit. It's got very good curb appeal. Nice front porch. I like that across the street you're not looking directly into someone's driveway. All right, so here appears to be the entryway. Got a nice niche here in the wall for some art. Looks like there's lighting in there too. So we've got two different hardwood floors. Lots of recessed lighting in the living room. Now we looked at a house last week too. Maybe it'll be different when we go into the other room where they say, you know, open concept. But here you have, maybe this is a dining room. It's hard because it's not staged. It's hard to see because it's not staged. Maybe this is the dining room and family room or living room. Let's see. Okay, it is that open concept. So I think that the kitchen is here on the left into a great room. All right, so perfect example. Turnkey, move-in ready, nothing wrong with this house, but you could do some very light updating. You can go to Costco, have them come in and put granite countertops in or quartz countertops. Nothing wrong with the cabinets. You could paint them, you could replace them and just bring it a little more up to date. It does have stainless appliances, dual ovens, backsplash to the top of the cabinets. Beautiful picture of a sink. But here, again, very easy to update that sink into a more modern, up-to-date sink. Like the backsplash. So a nice big island looking into a gas fireplace. Built-ins. And there's the slider out to a nice deck with those mature trees they talked about in the description. Again, here, lots of little things you could do to bring this house up to date. Replace some of the fixtures. Those built-ins are very timeless. Guest bathroom downstairs. I wonder, is this a bedroom we're looking at here? Looks like there's a door that goes outside. Okay, we're upstairs, loft area. This looks like our master bedroom. So same in the master bath. Very turnkey, very usable, very nice, but it'd be very easy to come in here. Maybe just replace the counters, the flooring, and really bring it up to date. Toilet's got its own little commode there, which is nice. Walk-in closet, dual vanity. Guest bedroom. Guest bath upstairs, dual vanity in the guest bath. Again, if we're upsizing our house, have a family, we're getting started with a family, very nice to have dual sinks in the guest bath. Bedroom number 3. This almost looks like a bonus room. It is a bedroom, it has a closet, fairly good size. Utility room, I assume we're upstairs in the utility room. It's kind of cool, they have a built-in bench on their deck. A very private backyard, mature landscaping. a lot can be done out here. Okay. I wonder if our chat's down. I don't have any chats. If you guys are watching, go ahead and throw something in the chat just so I can see if it's working. All right, let's look at some numbers. Purchase price on this home is $799,000. I've structured this out just to be a very vanilla, conventional, 20% down. Equity's probably coming from our condo or townhome or small bungalow we sold. 20% down, our loan amount would be $639,200. Interest rates, again, off of this website, Mortgage News Daily, 6.92. That's what we're using for our 30-year fixed interest rate as of yesterday. If I click on more info here, payment breakdown, again, here's our purchase price, $799,000. Principal and interest at 6.92 is $4,218 a month. Property taxes on this home, $519 a month. Homeowners insurance is going to vary depending on which insurance company you choose to use and what coverages you elect. Somewhere between $50 and $100 on this home. Thanks, Carissa, for making sure our chat's working. Yeah, somewhere between $50 and $100 a month, so we're going to use $75 for this morning. You add these three numbers together, we get a total principal and interest payment of $4812. Closing costs, our down payment's $159,800, which is 20%. Total closing costs going to be around $3691. That's going to include your title and escrow fees, which is the majority of that. It's going to include your county recording fees. It's also going to include your lender fee. Our lender fee is a flat $1450. We don't charge a 1% origination fee, any junk fees like that, just a flat $1450. There are two numbers not included in that $3691. The first is your home inspection. Home inspections are not required by us, but we do recommend you get one. Our preferred home inspector is Details Home Inspections. They're usually on the chat, but not today. But Brian and his team are who we recommend for home inspections, somewhere between $300 and $500 a month, or excuse me, $300 or $500, and you'd pay them directly. Again, not required, but it is something we do recommend. The second item that is not included is your home appraisal. Appraisals run between, they're going to run about $800, and appraisals are required most of the time. There are some exceptions to that, but most of the time they are required by your lender, and you would pay the appraiser directly through their website at the time of appraisal. Everything else is included in that $3691. Points are used to buy down the interest rate. We've dove deep into points in the past. We will again in the future. In this example, I'm not using any points because if you look at the fine print on the Mortgage News Daily website, their interest rates do not have points built in, which is another reason I really like getting my average rates from Mortgage News Daily. Prepaid taxes, insurance, and interest. This is going to cover three things. It's going to cover the prorated interest for the month we close in. It's also going to include our first year of homeowners insurance. And it's going to include our initial deposit into an escrow account. Those funds will go into an escrow account, and then every month when we make our payment, the taxes and insurance portion will be added to that account so that there's enough funds in that account to pay our property tax bill when they're due here in Clark County, April and October. And our homeowners insurance bill every 12 months will be paid for on our behalf out of that impound account. So if we add our prepaids and our closing costs and our down payment together, we get a total cash to close of $174.91. We've spent a lot of time structuring offers on this live stream. Anything we ask for the sellers would go in here. So if we ask the sellers to pay for our closing costs, give us a 2-1 buy down, give us money towards repairs, anything like that would go in this column here and be deducted from your cash to close number. Okay, I went through that at record speed. Let's look at amortization. So this is just an Excel spreadsheet I built. I'm more than happy to send it to you. Just reach out to me. All my contact information is in the description, as well as a link to schedule a 15-minute phone call with me. This simple spreadsheet can be a very, very powerful tool. So I have it built out to match our property here. So you can see our loan amount $639,200. Interest rate 6.92%. Let me see if I can make that bigger for you guys. There we go. 6.92%. Compounded monthly, 30 years. Let's have it start on March 1st, 2024. So if we closed in January, our first payment would be due in March. And there's our monthly payment, principal and interest, which matches our analysis we just did. Okay, now that we have this set up, it's going to break down all 360 payments. It'll show you the date of each payment, when that payment's due, the total payment, and then how much of your payment is going towards interest and principal. This is what Uva asked for last week. So you can see our first payment out of the 4218, 3686 is going to go towards interest, and only 532 is going to go towards principal. And you can see our new balance here goes from 639,200 to 638,667. So if we fast forward 5 years in the future, we're at our 60th payment, February 1st, 29. Payment's still the same. 3471 is going towards interest, and a little bit more, 747 is going up, or going towards our principal. Our balance has dropped from 639,200 to 601,171. So in 5 years, we've paid down our mortgage about 40,000. And you can see as we continue into the future, less of our payment goes towards interest and more of our payment goes towards our principal, all the way down to 360 months. So we're going to look at 2 ways to use this spreadsheet to do some analysis. So if we go back here and we look at some options, a lot of people ask me about 15-year mortgages. So let's take a look at one. So if we go back to the Mortgage News Daily, 15 years, we go from 6.92 to 6.27. In our analysis, our payment goes from 4,812 to 6,081, an increase of $1,269. So if we go here and we change our term to 15 years and our interest rate to 6.29, which I believe is what I have here, 6.27. Now when we make our first payment, $33.39 goes to principal, $2,147 goes towards principal, sorry, $33.39 goes towards interest, $21.47 towards principal, which is almost 5 times the amount on a 30-year fixed. And if I scroll down to month 60, here, we've paid our balance down to $488, and we are paid off in 15 years. I'm not a huge fan of 15-year mortgages. I'm a huge fan of paying down your principal quickly. But when you finance into a 15-year, you're locked in on that payment. The only way to decrease your payment is to refinance. And that might work out really well as long as interest rates are cooperating, but what if they're not? So if we go back down here, I'm going to show you guys how I would use this if I want a 15-year mortgage, but I'm nervous about being locked into that payment. $1,055 is the difference between the 15-year and the 30-year. So if I change this back to a 30-year, so let's look at this here first. Our mortgage is going to be paid off in February of 39. If I change it to a 30-year, change our interest rate back to 6.97. Is that right? 6.92. And again, our difference is, sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen there. Our difference is $12.69 a month. So if I go back in here and I add that $12.69 into this additional payment column, the amount going towards principal went from $500 to $1,801. If I do that for the whole first year, so I'm making the 15-year payments, but I'm on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We go 12 payments. I've saved $93,000 over the life of the 30-year fixed loan just by making a 15-year payment for the first 12 months on a 30-year loan. So now let's say I do that for 5 years. So February 1st of 29, I paid down my principal to $510,000. And if I look here, I've saved $311,000 over the life of the loan by doing that for 5 years. Now let's say after 5 years, a kid goes to college. You decide to be stupid like us and buy your daughter a horse. You do something where your income changes or your bills change and you no longer want to make that 15-year payment. You can go back down to your 30-year payment without the need of refinancing. Or let's say during Christmas, you don't want to make the 15-year payment. Instead of paying $12.69 extra, you pay $500 extra. And what I like about this spreadsheet is you can log each month how much extra you applied towards your principal. And then you can keep track and know exactly where you're at on your principal and stay motivated to continue making those payments. So let's say we do it for, I'm going to copy these and do it for another 5 years. Now it's 2034. I owe $328 on my house. Let's say I keep going. Okay, so if I would have done a 15-year fix, I would have been paid off on February 1st, 2039. But because I did a 30-year fix making 15-year payments, I'm going to be paid off, let's see, 14 months later on April 1st, 2040, but I had that flexibility the whole time. So it's costing me 14 extra months in payments, but I bought that flexibility of having the option to make the 30-year payment. And by doing so, I saved $455,000 in interest. Good morning, Gavin. So this is one way to use this spreadsheet. You can use it to compare a 15-year and a 30-year, and does it make sense? And should I be giving myself some flexibility? Or what if I can't afford a 15-year, but I want to throw $500 a month extra? You can add those in there and see what that looks like. Even if you're just adding a little bit each month. It's a great spreadsheet to track how much you're adding and stay motivated to do so. And Gavin might agree too, that house we looked at would be great for a move-up buyer. So this is a great way to forecast how much equity you'll have if you are looking 2 or 3, 5 years down the road for your next home. I want to have so much equity that I can roll over. This is a good way to know exactly where your balance is going to be, to give yourself an idea. Okay. Another way we can use this amortization schedule it's funny, I don't know if something's going on this morning, but last week we had most live viewers we had over 20 on this stream, and this morning we just have a couple, so I don't know. Maybe I need to be better at social media. Speaking of social media, Gavin, great job posting on Instagram. We saw that yesterday. Good to see you going outside your comfort zone and doing some social media. All right. So let's get in our time machine and go into the future. And let's say we bought a house, our first home, last October. We did FHA, we got an 8% interest rate. Our loan amount was $435. We were paying $280 a month in mortgage insurance. $33.01 towards principal. And now we got back from our 4th of July holiday, and Cody calls us and says, now the time's to refinance. We can do a conforming rate at 5.5%. And we can remove the mortgage insurance the FHA requires. And so we go ahead and drop our payment through a refinance from $4,006 to $2,951, saving us $1,055 a month. So our new loan amount is going to be $445 in this example. Maybe we're going to pull out some cash too. We pull out $36,000 to go in and do some remodel work. So our new loan amount's $445. So I'm going to go to my spreadsheet. $445, is that what I said? Yep. Our new interest rate is 5.5. And let's say it's going to we'll start it in September 1st, 2024. Just going to remove this here. Okay, so now we're set up on our new mortgage after we refinance. Payment principal and interest is $25.26, $2,039 towards interest, $487 towards principal. But what if I'm comfortable making a $4,000 payment? So I'm saving $1,055 a month. Let's just call it $1,000 a month. And I go in here, and on my new mortgage, I'm going to continue making a payment that's similar to my FHA. I'm going to pay $1,000 a month. I can go into my spreadsheet and I can add a year of payments with that $1,000 extra, and you can see I went from $480 going to principal to $1,487. Just in the first year, I've saved $45,000 in interest. And let's say I continue doing that for 5 years. Now, almost $2,000 a month is going towards my principal. My balance is now $342,568, and I've saved $161,000 in interest. Let's say I continue doing that for the life of the loan. I'm paid off in 189 months. Let's say I've owned this home for 2 years. So let's call it 17 years. So by refinancing down to 5.5%, removing my mortgage insurance, but keeping my payment the same, I was able to save 45% of my mortgage. Save $243,000 in interest, and I had my mortgage paid off in 17 years versus the 30 in the FHA I was in. So that's my amortization spreadsheet. There's a lot of ways to use this tool. Again, if you want a copy, let me know. I'm more than happy to send it to you. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing copyrighted. You could make one or you can find them online. But if you want mine, you can look at my picture and have my phone number. Let me know and I can send one to you. Thanks for that suggestion, Uva, of going over amortization. I know it's not an exciting topic for a Saturday morning, but it is very important. And the whole purpose of this channel is to help build your confidence in what you're doing when you're out shopping, to show off our open houses here in Clark County and throughout the country. So if you have ideas, topics for the show, if you have a house you want to feature, if you're a real estate agent, or if you want to see something out of our area, out of our state, we've done Texas, we've done Arizona, we've done Seattle, let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe, set the alarm, and help us build this channel. And I will see you guys again next Saturday. Have a great weekend. Bye.